As you can see, we're back in the dungeon. Something seems different. Well, you guessed it. I'm not in the original dungeon. I'm actually using somebody else's dungeon. I don't care what dungeon I'm in. Doesn't matter if it's halfway across the world, randoms, hobos, it's all the same. Let's take off the pump cover. What are we doing here? How are we looking? Not too bad. And of course, we gotta tuck it in. Even if you can't see it and you'd have to take my word for it, I'm still always gonna tuck it because it's my life on the line, for God's sakes. One thing I want to talk to you guys about is the back. People know, yeah, man, it's back day. It's as much as you think about it. Do you understand how large the back actually is? And for us to think that a few lat pull downs, some cable rolls are going to do the job is simply ridiculous. Now, are they integral parts of my back day? Absolutely. Weighted pull-ups, probably my favorite back exercise. I like starting off with weighted pull-ups because it's just sick, let's be honest too. And on top of it, a lot of that strength you'll build up there will translate over into other lifts. And I think this is where people really miss the boat on strength movements. Like, yeah, how much can you bench is cool, but it's the same idea. Like, if I have a higher incline bench, my flat bench is probably going to go up. And that's kind of how I look at weighted pull-ups. Like, if you can do weighted pull-ups, like with 3 plates down under you, you're probably going to have lifts that are just a lot higher and people that are just kind of piggybacking off of those. And that's kind of how I like to kind of frame it in my own brain. And with back, it's so intricate, man. There's so much going on there. Like, yes, your lats are a gigantic muscle, but then you have your rhomboids, right? You have muscles in your upper back. Your rotator cuff is technically a part of it. You have your lower traps. You have your mid traps. You have your upper traps. You have your erectors. You have your, what do they call, the teres major, the teres minor. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not a science major, although I actually went to school originally to become a med school student. I know what you're thinking. A brown dude gonna be a doctor? Keep your comments to yourself. I'm thinking about making this a part 1 series of back because I think back deserves a legit series of this stuff. So the way I look at it is, and the way I like to set it up, is I like to have vertical pulling movements. I like to have a rowing movement. I like to have something for my lower back. And I like to do stuff that almost lubricates a lot of the muscles, and I almost look at it as durability training, where I'm touching up my lower traps. I usually do that through face pulls, Y raises, kind of things like that. I want to show you, you're going to have to be patient with me because I am in a new dungeon, so I don't know how to figure out this tripod situation. And you guys, if you've been here, you understand how much I hate tripods in general. So the fact that I'm using one it's a tough pill to swallow. So what I'm going to show you is actually one of my favorite supersets when I'm in a rush at the gym. Like, if I don't have that much time, this is a superset that I will walk into the gym and just nail it right out the gate, because it almost feels like everything afterwards is kind of extra credit. You'll end up seeing kind of on the back end of this stuff, like once you nail down these 2 movements, and they're 2 movements that you're very, very aware of, but no one ever has the thought of supersetting them, especially if you're on a time crunch. It's gonna get the job done for you. Is this something I do every single time? No, I literally save it for the time crunches where it's like, okay, I gotta get in and get out quick. This is gonna do it for me. It's like a back pocketer. You have that tool ready to just, or a gun, whatever. You get the idea. I'm about to show you the superset right now. All right, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit more difficult than I anticipated. A little bit out of my element. I'm gonna take this, because they only got dumbbells. I'm gonna stick it between my legs. I like putting it like almost kind of in a messed up area, to be honest. But it stays really, really locked in this way. And so from here, and then I'm gonna drop the dumbbell. I'm gonna go right into regular. And I go right into this superset. Now, I'm not a huge fan of deadlifts at all, but I'm not a huge fan because people prioritize it on back day. Unless you're a strength athlete, I just find it entirely unnecessary. You could be doing a lot more with your time. So I usually I'll do different lower back exercises, stuff that is more so mobility based that I love, and it also touches up my erectors like crazy. But I do love doing deadlifts as like a second workout in the day, which is what I'm doing right now. I already hit back earlier. But this is my way of just getting more blood flow going and to kind of finish what I started. Hitting deadlifts like this on a superset is absolutely phenomenal. And I really do try to lock into the lower back. So like I always make sure that my setup's really, really solid. And that way I'm pulling from my back more so than from my legs. This sucks. You're probably thinking, why are you going slow on the negatives? Because I eat pain for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right, that's good. I can feel my back pulling on me. Wow. I mean, that's just one set. Absolutely ridiculous because you're expending so much energy in such a little period of time, which is why it's so effective if you're in a time crunch. You'll go in and think about it. I just hit up my lower back, and obviously it even touches up your traps on deadlifts. The only problem I have with people say that is it's like when people say squats and deadlifts hit core, bro. Like, maybe not that ridiculous, but it's not doing the job. Like, you need to give it extra attention, like especially as a natural athlete. You don't get it. Like, their androgen receptor density is unlike anything. So they don't even have to do much to touch up on those smaller muscles that unfortunately us natties can't ignore. And that's a really, really big part of this because trust me, I used to lift like a complete meathead, and I still kind of do. Like, I like that mentality going inside the gym. I think it's actually the best mentality to have. But the problem is you'll learn very quickly that as you get stronger, the more compromised your building actually is. And people completely miss the boat on this because you don't realize that, like, just because you can lift, 225 pounds on the incline doesn't mean like, oh, I'm good because I can lift it. Like, there's a lot more that can go wrong. Not because it's just heavy weight, but now you have smaller muscles that are helping you out. And if they feel a stimulus they never felt before, injuries start to spring up. And you're like, man, like when I used to do military pressing, I was really getting into shoulder training. Is when I was starting to learn actually how to train the shoulders. I was doing 185 per normal, and I pulled my lower trap. And I had no idea. I'm like, what the hell is that muscle that pulled? Like, freak accident. And I started realizing it was like, okay, these lower trap muscles actually matter in overhead pressing because that's what you use to stabilize. And people completely just ignore these things. That's why my training style is so weird to people. And everyone's like, dude, that's not doing anything. And they don't get it. There's ways of bridging the gap over with mobility, strength, and muscle growth. But sometimes you have to be specific where it's like, I have to just do an exercise for the lower traps. Face pulls are phenomenal, obviously. But that's why I always try to do different type of training, like different type of exercises to hit the same muscle, because I might feel it one day on this exercise, not as hard as the other one. And I always have that, we talked about this earlier, the tool in the back pocket. The more tools you have, the more that you're ready for anything. But if you got no tools and shit hits the fan, you're kind of just stuck being like, oh, okay. That's why I'm against optimal lifting. Is like, do you think that the gym is just empty? What if you don't have that equipment? And it's like, most people will bow out and be like, screw it, it's not worth it. And that's just so incorrect because those are still always going to be minor details in the bigger picture. Those are micro optimizations. Those matter once you've made it very, very far. But if you're just getting started, like, it's more learning how your body's meant to move, how it's supposed to adapt, how does it adapt, how does muscle growth work? And the best way to learn is by playing versus reading. It'd be me like being like, I want to be really good at basketball, so let me grab a book and learn all of the rules. It's like, just go out and shoot some baskets. Trust me, in the process, you're going to learn way quicker. You're going to get to where you want to go a lot quicker than the guy who has to read everything and know everything prior to being able to just jump in. It's resilience. This is why we're in the gym. That's what I love about training. Training builds my resilience. It's a lever I pull on that just allows everything in my life to just feel seamless. It makes literally the hard shit in my life so fucking easy. I hear problems people have and they get so stressed out so easily. And it's like, I've been preparing and callousing my mind to handle all this bullshit. It is the lever I pull on. That's why I'm so passionate about training. It just allows everything to fall right into place for me. Beat my body down to a pulp, and now I'm unconscious, baby. I'm just moving. Boom, boom, boom. Next set. I took way too long of a break. Give you guys a bit of a different angle. You feel me? That's awful. That angle is just terrible. Maybe that's better. You guys weren't even watching me pull anything. It was just my body. No thanks, Uncle Rom. No thank you, freak. All right. That's not even better, but whatever. On these reps, I'm not necessarily trying to get more pull-ups, but rather just lock into the muscle as it's coming up. I want to make sure I'm initiating correctly because, like I said, it's my second workout, and I really like to dial in on form and connect to my muscles. Drop set, take this sucker and drop them. I don't know if you guys heard it. It's plastic, so it doesn't sound as cool. Oh, you know what you can do is drop set and go to a different grip. I love doing that. Oh, God, dude. I gave up quick. Nope. That's punishment for giving up quick. I got freaking deadlifts, dude. Get the fuck out of here. There we go. Not too bad. Smooth, you know? All right. Dude, that is heavy right now. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, barefoot's kind of badass. I'm actually digging this. I mean, not enough to like be that weirdo that you know, like shows up to the gym barefoot. I think those guys are weird. Hey, no breaks. Come on. All right, last one. Oh. Slow. That's it. Oh yeah, look at that. Not even hitting arms, dude. Not bad, boys. A little back pump. You know what, dude? I'm not that kind of guy, but I mean, that's how we're looking. That's it. All right, that's plenty for you guys. It's weird, man. Lately, is actually yesterday, I had my first day in recent memory where I genuinely was like, you bowed out today, you know? The thing is once you play to a certain standard, no matter what it is in your life, it could be your business, your job, you know, even like your relationships with people where you are a certain way with them, you know, and you do certain stuff for them, or like obviously in the gym, if you have a certain performance, when you're used to a certain performance, whenever you come in lower, because it's your standard at that point, and that's what it becomes. It literally becomes your standard of things. It's like, even on my worst day, I could never fall below this, and I did. And I swear to you, it was like the first time in recent memory, I was just like, really, dude? Like, that's the level of effort you gave? Like, you showed up and you just kind of just like wasted your own time? You didn't really do shit. Because I have a random mobility day that I'll throw in when my body's like kind of going through it, but I'll also still do weightlifting stuff, like Olympic lifts. And that way I'm just constantly making sure like my wheels are turning, like no active rest days. Like my mobility days are legit excruciating. But like I purposely was like bowing out of certain stuff and like re-racking weight early, quitting on sets early. It was crazy because I was legitimately, it wasn't even like I was like, dude, you're better than this. It's just like, really? Like that's the level of effort you gave? Like you showed up and just completely fucked around with your time. You have 85 other things to do right now. And you just came in to kind of just like mess around. And it goes to show you like how powerful it is. Like whenever you're ascending in terms of like performance level, no matter what it is, there's always that thing that you will course correct along the way. Like it's just normal. You're going to have those days. I swear to you though, it's literally the next day. What do you do? If you respond off of a day like that and you go full throttle on the next, which is what I did today. Like I gave everything to my back day today. I still wasn't happy with the performance just because it just felt like I couldn't lock in the way I wanted to. But like right now, I'm going to finish up and probably continuously smash back. And don't worry, I'm going to share with you guys more back stuff because I think it's so important, man. It is the most important part of your body are your legs, obviously, considering, you need them to kind of walk and stuff. So we'll put that at number one. But of the upper body, I think the back it's the centerpiece. Not the centerpiece. I always say the shoulders are the centerpiece. And that's just because it brings everything in together, shoulder injuries, all of that. Typically, that's where people have issues. But it is the foundation, like the capability and sheer size of your back. It deserves extra attention, not, hey, I did 4 movements for back today. It's like, well, what did you touch in those 4 movements? Like you have a vertical pull down, you have a row, you have trap work, and you have lower back. And for me, it's not usually enough. Like I superset everything, as you guys know. I love supersetting. But typically what I'll do is I'll do a lat pull down superset if I'm ever going to do something like that, because I know probably most of you do. And I'll superset it with a lat isolation exercise. I have a couple of them up the bag that I don't know if I can just release to you guys yet. I feel like we're going to have to earn that right, but I got a lot in the bag. But I'll always superset the same exact muscle, no matter what day it is. It's just because you're overloading the muscle. It's so simple. Like if you just completely targeted stress on the specific part of your body, you'll grow and you'll get stronger too. I don't think people realize that. Like when you give your body that level of stimulus, first off, you need a lot less sets inside the gym. You don't need that much. Only reason why I'm doing more is because I've been doing this for over a decade. Like I've been building up my body to handle this type of stuff. A lot of people always tell me, your rest times, man, like I don't get it. Like how don't you get injured? How don't you do this? I've purposely run my body to the ground to a level that I don't think very many people in their life have ever encountered. And it's also so I can figure out like when I'm gonna get flare-ups, how do I fix those flare-ups? And then I learn new exercises that instantly handle it. Sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to figure out how to actually handle, like elbow tendonitis, for example. And that's why I came out with like a forearm sledgehammer sequence that I like to call. It's like the blue collar forearms work, baby. But that's the point, is you learn as problems arise. Like as you start getting pains, instead of being like, dude, I'm in pain, I can't lift today. I look at it as like, what can I do to fix this problem right now? And then you're still just moving. You're still moving and grooving. You still have all this other work you got to get done inside the gym. You're just adding that onto your plate. And you're like, well, I still don't want to be here for over an hour and a half. It's like, well, then we have to work very, very meticulously, strong. We have to be dialed in. I always say you should have to earn the right to be in the gym for an hour and a half. I don't know why most people in the gym for more than 30 minutes, especially if you're just kind of getting started. Like you should be going in and getting hammered. Not like, I'm not the type of guy, it's like you should not be on your phone during, like I do a lot of work while I'm at the gym. But if I take an extra long break, you better believe I'm bumping up the weight and I'm sitting in that sucker of a set because I have ample rest time. There is no excuses. I better show up for this set. So while I'm in the middle of my set, it's all I'm thinking about. And if I'm on my phone doing work, that's what I do. But I always try to cut that out short just because timing will get away from me if I do that too long. But regardless, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy the new dungeon because I'm kind of digging this feel. The only issue is I'm having to, listen, I'm out of my element. I'm having to move tripods around. I'm usually just kind of a one spot kind of guy, and then I just look at the camera in the same way. Not having to angle up and look and make sure it's not what I'm about. You guys know that. I'm a pretty raw dude. Really appreciate you being here. If you guys want anything specific, just let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you. Uncle Rami out. Peace.